You're gonna want to hear this. The following is guaranteed to knock your ears right off. Not intended for the faint of heart.
Sounds good. All right, Matt. I guess we're changing topics. We're jumping ship. We had the ship, and during the break, we built a new ship, and all of a sudden, that ship that we had before was not as good as the ship we have now.
Is that the same ship?
No.
You start replacing every wood.
I know this analogy, and this has not anything to do with it, because this has nothing to do with the same context we had before. We're going into what, Matt?
Certain relationship aspects, I guess.
Relationship.
Aspects. Yes. Yes.
Situation.
We're off the
fetishes.
Fetishes, whatever you want to call it.
Incorporated with
relationships, and I guess how like certain people handle relationships and when these things arise in the relationships. Does that make sense, Matt?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. We were gonna do the afterlife. We'll save that for another time. Close that book.
Close my notebook.
I mean, you can use it for this because you like writing notes.
Oh, yeah.
You're over here like, well, I gotta write everything down.
Well, do you support this quote?
Every time me and Matt debate, I don't have any notebook or anything in front of me. He just pulls out a notebook and writes everything I say, so that if I like mess up by accident, he's like, well, like 50 hours ago you said this, but now you said this. So what's changed? Maybe my wording's wrong, Matt. Maybe you said the question maybe a little different, and maybe I by accidentally said the wrong thing.
We have a built-in stenographer. It's fine.
This guy writes everything I say down. It's awful.
Because if I catch him, I'm like, like you said this. He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like 10:21 p.m.
God.
Oh man,
you're the worst.
Better watch what you say around this guy.
I know. He'll mark everything down. Like he has every point of debate I've ever had with him. It's written down somewhere in his
it's in that notebook.
Stupid orange notebook.
Handy dandy.
Yeah.
Notebook.
Yeah, that's what he.
I could always come back.
I'm shocked you didn't bring it tonight. You're like over here like, well, Liam said that during the show, and now you have that, and that's my notebook. So I'm ripping the pages out after this, so there's no evidence.
Well, you're a history major, so there's gotta be at least, or used to be.
Yeah.
You like evidence?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, so let's kind of jump right into, I guess, what we were talking about during the break. Me and Matt recently had like a little bit of a debate around what exactly. Do you want to kind of preference it
around? If OnlyFans is like a new thing that's kind of coming out, right? And it's a business which girls sell explicit pics of themselves.
Just girls?
Also guys, right?
Yeah.
Majority girls, also guys. They sell pics of themselves for money, and people pay for it. It's kind of like a explicit Patreon or something like that. And we were gonna talk about, would you let your girlfriend or guy or boyfriend, or wife or husband, do that sort of thing?
Significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said no.
And I said,
well, I wouldn't even like. Are we talking about this like? I first meet them, they're already doing this, or like halfway through the relationship, they kind of start wanting to do that.
Would it matter?
great point.
It would matter a lot in that context. Yeah, I think it matters because if they were doing that beforehand, I would feel uncomfortable to start a relationship with them in the first place. Now, if I start dating them and they're like, I've had this idea, what do you think? Because I've been in that boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that today.
So you say no. So Matt, what do you say?
I say yes. I think it's fine.
In both situations. So you already said no to dating someone that's already doing that.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. That's a Forrest Gump run down the driveway, down all the way.
Yeah. I'm sprinting. I'm faster than Forrest Gump in this sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gone.
I'm Forrest Gump in a fire jet.
Yeah, you're gone. The races are off. You're out.
Yeah.
All right. And you. Okay. So would you be open to dating someone that you already know is doing that too?
Yeah, of course. I think at least with with qualities right? I think you could probably discern, certain qualities like, promiscuity, being like a bad person in your sense. Like if you're doing OnlyFans, I think you could probably
I
discern.
don't think they're a bad person.
Okay.
I never said that.
Yeah,
I just said that I said that it's just something I'm not. I never said at all that they're a bad person.
no.
So.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be OnlyFans platform. Any kind of platform. There's many platforms for different types of things that people like, right?
Yeah.
Like, not just sexual things, and even on OnlyFans, right? There's people that have like cooking classes and workout classes and stuff. Obviously, it's kind of in an explicit nature, right? But it still is some kind of hobby or some kind of experience that they're doing, right? But so there's other platforms. So fetishes, right? So what things would we all be comfortable, right, with? So are you comfortable, Lisa, with would you be comfortable with that? And then is there a boundary? Is there a line that needs to be drawn?
I think it's situational for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be acceptable to you as something like an extracurricular that your significant other would be able to do, that you would say, I could live with this, and what's something that you'd say, hell no, hard pass.
Well, I'm generally not a jealous person, so I'm pretty open-minded about that kind of stuff. So that's why it depends on the person and how confident I feel in the relationship and how that's better.
Is that you fix it? We're just fixing her headset.
It's good at everything.
And how trustworthy the person is and all that jazz. Okay. But I would look at more like, if somebody, what would bother me more really is just the idea of somebody being like all showing themselves off, that they think that they're so cool, and that kind of
showing their bodies.
That like arrogance would bother me more than the whole platform thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Professor Booker.
Interesting question here. OnlyFans. Well, I think the key to a relationship is really building a foundation first. So in order for me to even get to that level, for us to have that conversation, I need to get to know who this person is first.
Yeah.
If they're really interested, if they're interested in, being on that platform, then, I have to ask myself at the end of the day, how do I feel about that person giving themselves to the whole entire world, right? Because now you're opening up to millions and millions of people, on billions, right? Because you don't know who's actually looking at that platform, and then I have to think long term down the road. At the end of the day, that's someone's mother or father, right?
Yeah.
So, and how do I feel about being involved with that person? And one day my children will know that their mom was actually,
engaged on
the page, and so at the end of the day, I feel like, I have to really get to know who this person is, and then see if we have the same values.
Yeah.
And if we have the same values, then I don't think they probably would even, entertain that platform on that level.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even have that conversation, because anybody who I'm involved with on that level that I'm really serious about, we're not even going to have that conversation in the first place.
Yeah.
Because we're on a different path. We're moving on a different platform.
Now, see, Matt, that's what I meant to say, but he makes it sound so much better than what I said.
What he said was all of that, and what you said was no.
See, Matt, if you like read into my no, you would understand that there's a great speech behind it.
So read between the lines here. Okay.
But however, if you're on the same page as that person, and you guys are both like, hey, we're going to make money off of this, and this is what we're going to do, and we're both into this, then go right ahead.
Yeah.
That's something that the two of you are engaged in, but you have to know who you are before you sell yourself short to someone else, because that relationship is doomed to fail in the long run.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a lot of like, he's writing everything you're saying. Get ready. Yeah, I see him. He's over here. He's scheming. But no, I definitely agree. Like I definitely agree with you. It's like I've been in relationships before and where I've like definitely like preference, like this is kind of who I am. This is like what I want in a relationship. Like my overall goal is to get married one day, have kids, and have a long, fulfilling life with my wife in the future. That's like really what I want to do, you know.
That's what usually happens.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know, you're courting someone, you're meeting someone, you're dating someone, you're getting to know the ins and outs of that person, and then you get to decide ultimately if you want to move forward on both ends.
Yeah.
I mean, most people do that, but then, you know, there's a thing called change.
Yeah.
And people are ever changing.
That's right.
We're changing constantly. And, you know, there's situations where, you know, someone might start to get interested in something like that, and they are like, oh, I know I've never been interested in this before, but what about now? Or I, you know, really don't care about doing this, but it could make a lot of money, and it might not, you know, cost me a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different reasons why people get into stuff, but then the thing is that what if midway through, you know, a couple years into your, you know, relationship, someone just hits you with bam, like, what do you think about this?
Well, I think that's it's a good question, of course, and I think that because I don't know, because at first, the beginning, like we definitely established like what our values are in a relationship, and of course, people change over a long period of time, especially if you're going to be together with this person for a long period of time, things will change, and if I got to that point where she was wanting to do something like that, we'd have to definitely, it would have to be a very long, that would not be a very like quick and cut conversation. I definitely would try to like possibly see like what in the relationship right now is kind of causing her to feel like she needs to find these other platforms to kind of feel like almost a satisfaction from it, or like our thing
validated.
Yeah. And I like to figure that out, and if I could somehow fix that so she doesn't have to kind of do something that in my opinion is a little drastic almost, and that's just my opinion. And
like, is it a new interest? Is it a money issue? Is it something that I can help with? Something that I can indulge with?
Maybe she wants to spice things up.
Right. I mean that is fair. That is a fair thing. And I'm definitely willing to have those conversations with them and figure that out with them. Now, if we at the end of the conversation, we somehow still haven't found a middle ground in that, then there's something that we definitely need to probably look for, like outside help almost to help fix it. Because if I can't fix it almost, then probably relationship counselor and all that stuff. Because I don't really know how. I definitely think I would still feel very uncomfortable if she would go through without knowing I wouldn't want to do that. We definitely had to like discuss it, and I don't really know like how to handle that with a long-term partner. You know, when I had one of my exes like wanted to sell like feet pics at one point, and I was like, I don't like that aspect. Respectfully, I told her I respect the people that do it. I think that's.
Did you tell her to kick rocks?
I kind of said I told her to straight up. I was like, if you do that, I'm not gonna lie, it would probably affect a few things in the relationship for sure. And we had the conversation. She took it the wrong way of like that I was trying to be controlling, when it was like I'm not trying to control the relationship at all. I want you to do the things you're happy with, but I don't want you to make a decision that's going to impact your life and when you have a career one day, because you never know what these things are in the internet forever. And if you just want to stop doing that one day, it's too late. It's kind of out there forever. And I just don't think that's a good thing for her to do, because she was young. Like, she was only 18, and she was old enough to do that, but very naive, I feel like, in how it impacts her life long term than short term. Because money's short term in that aspect. You get the money, but how is that going to affect you long term with when you have kids and when you have a career you want to do, and your boss has a bias against you because he saw these images of you online, or your kids' friends find out that your mother does that stuff, and they make fun of your kids for that, and it's an awful thing that's happened, I think, in the world for sure. And I think I don't like just kind of like I think sometimes when I talk about these things, people think it's kind of like a blanket statement as like no, and I don't really like dive into it, but like I definitely the no in the back of it all has been thought out.
Yeah,
it's
there's
not,
reasons.
There's
There's
not.
reasons.
Yeah, there's not just a blanket. No, didn't
Of
think
course.
about it, and I
no,
I've
but
thought about this for a long
ultimately
time.
it's a no. I mean,
Mhm.
it's if it's a yes or no question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If it's a question that has to do with your relationship.
yeah.
You know, there's really only one way to put it.
Mhm.
You want it or you don't. You're accepting it or you don't.
I want to know one thing,
Yeah.
because,
hmm
and maybe I'm off the loop, but
Yeah.
I,
like,
I know, yeah, like feet pics.
Yeah.
Is this like something that's trending? I mean, like,
yeah, it's a new
if you
thing.
could just put me on, like, so what exactly? When did this become?
I'm gonna tell you right. I'm gonna tell you right now.
lot
I don't know
of
how to.
money.
I don't know how to put you on this because
Yeah.
I'm not even on the train.
I know.
It's like I'm just watching it go by,
Yeah,
and I'm just kind of like, what? It's gonna go off the bridge. What's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
Like, I'm like, what's happening?
What's happening here?
Wait, before we even answer that, especially because Jackie's on.
Yes.
I didn't click record beforehand, so the intro didn't go through. So we have Jackie, Lisa, and Professor Booker here. So sorry about that.
Oh, wow.
When I said record, I looked over here. I started touching things. That's when that I was like, oh god. So Jackie is an entrepreneur that has a business called
Jack's Cleaning Service.
the best clean service in Connecticut.
We are residential, residential and commercial. Yes.
Residential commercial. Best
14
clean
years.
service. Best clean service. Hit her up anytime.
That's right.
So I just want to put that out there again, so it's actually on the record.
Thank you.
Of course.
Got Miss Lisa here.
Yeah, we have Lisa here, and we have Professor Booker here as well.
Yeah.
So
Hey, everybody.
yeah, Lisa's back again from a former episode we did when we talked about relationships and stuff. Also, and we talked about
Philosophy.
Philosophy. Why do I always forget it? Like I know it starts with a P, and I'm like,
You're like psychology.
but yeah, so you're asking about like this like what's this trend
Yeah,
I put
this
you
new
on?
trend. How did this happen?
So Matt,
It's not even
Is it
really
is
a
it just
trend.
from like 18 to 25-year-olds? And,
it's a trend from 18 to like 60-year-olds
Oh,
that like
60-year-olds.
that like are like that stuff.
Yeah.
They're involved in that stuff and stuff.
Interesting.
So,
You guys, this has been going on for centuries.
yeah.
To be honest with
It's
you,
just
There
because
was-
of the internet. It's
there was yeah, it's more publicized
yeah.
now.
mhm.
you said centuries, Jackie.
I'm telling you, back, I mean, I want to say in the 1600s even, there was they used the feet as a kind of a substitute in castration cases. Yeah, and it can be known as a form of erotica, and it has been. To some people, I mean, to many people, it's never going to be seen as an erotic or a sexual thing. But to many people, yes, it is
Yeah.
a very sensual part of the body, and it has been known to substitute as as a sexual organ like the penis,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so people have been doing this in secret, I think, for so long, and that it's always been kind of like a shameful, like a really taboo type of thing. So now that the internet is here, people are starting to really broadcast what they're into, and that's just one of many fetishes that most people like us right now in this room
Right.
seem as deemed strange and really weird.
Really?
But to a lot of people, it's
Agreed.
not like that. Yeah, it's been a thing.
Yeah. It's
If
nothing.
if you look on TikTok,
Yeah.
right,
Mm-hmm.
you can see there's a trend, like particularly with college-age students or people in their early 20s. Well, you'll see like some like pretty girl, and she's driving like a Lamborghini or something, and somebody says, "Hey, how'd you get your Lamborghini?" She goes, "Oh, feet pics."
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
this is the thing. So people, they take pictures of their feet, and it's on some sort of platform, and so
Yeah.
people pay money to see those, and then so it's very easy supposedly to make a lot of money selling your feet pics on this particular platform.
You know,
So
and maybe
right
I'm
now,
biased.
that's a thing.
Maybe I'm biased because I have ugly feet and I can't get on this. But you know, I don't know.
Also, yeah, you know, with like how people at least get like this, you know, sexual Stop looking at that. How people get this like sexual attraction to like feet is like, you know, there's like areas in the brain, you know, they control like different aspects of your life, right? You know, and there's there's obviously a sexual part of your brain, and that region is actually very close to like a region that like controls your feet or something, and sometimes that gets like mixed up, right? And then people then get like sexual pleasure from that.
And it's not just feet too. There's lots of people that have like obsessions with different parts of the body that we just think are just functioning parts of the body. There's lots of people that see, you know, that like hands or even like elbows and shoulders. I mean, there's people out here like Mr. Booker. Like, name one part of a woman's body that is not a sexual part, but you might think is like a sexy part of a woman's body.
Her eyes.
Okay. So now, what is one part, Lisa, that you think on a man?
Shoulders.
All right. Same here. You know, I like a firm jawline maybe on a man. How about you, Matt? What do you think is a non-sexual part of a woman?
This is so
that you think?
good because you don't ever answer this.
Yeah. Answer it
So answer this.
now. Go.
I don't know.
Please be good.
Thighs.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go. You know what,
All right.
Matt? I fully agree with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're a thigh man. We're gonna high five on that. So just right there, right? Those are non-sexual
Yeah.
parts of our bodies that we find, but those are more common parts. But just to go a step further, there's lots of people that just see past and further, and you know, we can't fathom something
Yeah.
like the foot being a sexy thing, but. You know, to each his own. Lots of people can. So those
Yeah.
things, and some people might not like shoulders, or you know, might not think there's too much to eyes, or you know, or thighs, or you know, a jawline, or and, you know. But you know, to us and to a lot of more people. So you see how we can kind of mesh those lines a little bit, like what is
blended.
sexy to you and what is not, and it doesn't have to be the boobs, the butt, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the gray sweatpants. It doesn't have to be all those things that are, you know,
Yeah.
just, you know, given to us.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's
But
deeper.
it is pretty common to receive a certain amount of pleasure from our feet, like tickling. A lot
Yes.
of people have ticklish
Yes.
feet. Or like a foot massage. There's a lot of pressure points.
It's a
So
sensitive
somebody-
area. It has a lot of
yeah.
nerve endings.
So
too.
if somebody's doing that to our foot, we're probably not ashamed to be like, oh man, that feels so good, right?
Yeah.
I will admit that I've had
Good point.
people, men, in my inbox, in my Instagram, and other inboxes, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you know, just throughout the years that have, you know, asked me to show pictures of my feet, you
Yeah.
know, and things like that. Obviously, they just go right in the, I don't even look at it. But there's, you know, people that open that up and say, I can take a picture of my feet real quick. What's the harm in that? You know, and then they, you know, and so that might be something that where it starts, you know, something
Yeah.
for some people. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. I've been asked for pictures of my feet. I have
Yeah.
adorable feet. I think that they're cute. I keep them pedicured and all that stuff. But I don't think they're sexy. I don't know. You're so sexy. Look at this. You know, but you know, to some people that's I've dated men that in the beginning of us dating, that's let me see your feet. Let me see just want to see if I have like these hideous like claw feet, or if I have
Yeah.
like cute feet that could be, you know, touched and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like, you know, like sometimes guys like to give feet rubs if
Yeah.
it's, you know, warranted, but
Yeah.
they don't want to rub a foot of a wildebeest.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, for
so and some of us have those. It's unfortunate, but it
They don't want
happens.
to rub Liam's feet.
They don't want to rub your feet,
I'm
Liam.
gonna be honest with you. I'm not a feet guy at all. Like I find feet like very unattractive. I don't know.
Like you always want a sock on there.
Your socks on, babe.
Where's the tube socks? This is gross. What are you doing?
Get the socks, babe. Get the socks.
Babe, this is not
You
working
know what
out.
I like.
You gotta put the tube socks on I bought you. The pink ones? Thanks.
Some people get the best of both worlds with the like toe socks, like the toes little like they come out,
Have you
but they
seen
still have
that?
socks on.
Have you seen that?
No.
Can you pull up a picture of it on the laptop?
Show me this.
Yeah, they're
friend
ridiculous.
at-
No, on my laptop.
Each toe gets a sock. It's like a mitten. It's like a glove. Not even a mitten, because a mitten for a foot would be like a
Each
sock,
toe?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes around each toe like a mitten or like a glove.
Wow.
They have like running shoes like that too,
They do.
right? Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
it's good for like rock
Yoga.
climbing.
They do like yoga. They have for yoga with little little
God.
grips on the bottom with your yeah. I bought some on accident.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know it. And every time I go in, I still have them. Every time I go in my drawer and I pull them out on accident,
Wow.
I'm like, God, not these toe socks again. I'll never wear them. I don't know why I just don't get rid of them.
I think they're cute, but I
They're annoying to
That's
feel.
so weird.
I think I would feel a little.
Can you take it off,
claustrophobic.
please? I don't want that on my computer.
Maybe you'll get used to it.
I know.
If anyone bought me those as like a gift, or like I would just burn it so quick. That'd be like good kindling. Like that's not even.
So I kind of want to circle back to
Yeah.
to in the beginning, right? We kind of all gave our opinions about if we would like our significant other to do something like that, right? And Matt was the only one in this room that said, you know, he actually wouldn't mind.
he's been collecting.
So
everyone's
can we
opinions.
talk about this? Can you elaborate?
I think with selling kind of pictures of
Good one.
your feet, something like that. Okay, I'll go with that example right now. There's like a net gain positive to like the negative, right? So like what think about like all the positives that this gets at least, right? One, as long as you're okay with it, like so you don't feel bad about it or something, because that'd be like negatives, right? But if I'm okay with it, net positives. One, additional income. It's passive income. It's online forever. They're gonna keep getting more clicks, whatever. There's a great passive income there. Secondly, I think it takes advantage of certain systems in place for women to get ahead in that, right? So they could take advantage of that. 3, it's very easy. So like anyone can, or anyone can do it, right? So it's not going to be like hard work. Like I don't want my girlfriend to be like in the mines or something, right? I'd rather than
You
doing
can work from home.
yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy, right?
In the mines.
Like, we talking about cobalt? Like, what are you talking about? The mine for coal? Like,
You don't know.
She's in the trenches.
And and if like no, at least I think so, right? If my wife like or girlfriend like really likes me, like no like guy that's texting her on like this kind of thing, like, oh, can we meet up? Like there's so many anecdotes from these girls that do this. They would never meet up with anyone texting them that. Like there's no like cheating kind of aspect to that, and in that kind of sense where they can be interpersonal with people, and it's not even like you're seeing the faces of everyone that's looking at your feet. It's just a name online. There's no personal aspect to that.
And they're not seeing your face.
Low
either.
risk, high reward.
That's how I see it, at least. That's
Okay.
I mean, I see your point, Matt. I just still like. I respect your point. I just don't agree with it. Because even though you're saying you're not like there's no face to the foot or something like that, like whatever you said. I just there's a level of personal things where it's like, sure, they're not meeting up with them in person, all this stuff, but that guy has a part of my like girlfriend or wife that was like a private thing. And now it's kind of like a public thing for other people to kind of see. And like, it's not because it might, and you never know how these weirdos out there figure out how to figure out who this person was actually, whose feet this was and all that stuff and all that. Because you never know, because people are weirdos out there. But
Track IP addresses and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And I just think it's not insecure, because I know you said insecure earlier, which bothered me. I'm definitely not insecure. I'm not insecure. I just find it weird that my girlfriend would think, oh, I'm glad this guy's paying me money to just jack off to my feet. You know, it's kind of it's weird. To
What
me.
about would you let your girlfriend wear flip flops out in public or something like that?
That's a different thing. 'Cause it's not she's not kind of paying guys to do that.
Is that a terrible thing nowadays?
What?
Girls wearing flip flops out in public?
No, not at all. He's just
No, but I am firmly against men thong flip flops, though. If we're gonna just touch on that real quick.
Wait, what are those?
What is it?
Thong flip flops.
It was just
What are
the
thong
one.
flip-flops?
Oh,
The
I know.
regular
Oh,
girl
yeah.
flip
Yeah,
flops,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
those
I'm
are
a pair
thong
of those.
flip flops. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, get closer.
All I'm saying is,
Sorry.
I mean, a lot of guys have them.
Yeah, regular
I don't
flip-flops.
Yeah.
care for that on a man. I think it's a very feminine style of flip flop.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm not
It's a feminine
flip.
it's
I'm
a
not
feminine style of flop.
I'm not a flip flop kind of guy. I'm not
like
I'm
a
not
slide or a
Crocs kind of
sandal.
guy.
I think you could really.
I think I'm not a Crocs guy, flip flop guy. I'm just not. Like one time, an ex of mine literally went out to dinner with me in a dress and Crocs, and I was like, "What are we doing? Like, we're like a nice restaurant, and you're wearing your little jibbies on your Crocs."
Can we pause real quick?
with your
oh my God.
with your really nice dress. I'm like, what's? I said, I was like, what's going on? Like, am I in Wonderland? Like, this doesn't happen. We're at a nice restaurant. That's what bothered me.
Yeah.
So, what were you?
I don't know what it is. You know how everyone has their little bugaboos, their little turnoffs.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier.
icks.
Little icks, right?
Yeah.
That's one of mine.
Croc. I just think Crocs
And
are
I
huge.
don't know why. And I
When
don't.
I did the Galcast, I said that, and the entire time they said all the things I said. In a minute, I said mine. They're like, "Oh my God, that's terrible. You can't wear it." I was like, "You guys are just making fun of you're basically over here you're over here like, oh well, the guy can't show his butt crack, or I'll break up with him." It's like, what?
Yeah, some women's icks are a little dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I don't like it when a guy parts his hair to the left. Like, come on. I don't know. Come on.
Middle part?
That's a definite no. That's a red flag for me. I think there has to be a little more to it. I think it has to be a little more deliberate, like something you do, or
my God.
like,
You see
you choose to put those thong flip flops on. You bought them at the store. You spent your money on them. You took them home. You thought this outfit would be great with these thong flip flops.
And in my scenarios, we're going. My scenarios, we're going to a nice restaurant. We got a reservation, kind of thing like that. You made a reservation. We're going to a nice restaurant, and you put your dress on, and then say, I'm gonna put the Crocs with my Scooby Doo jibbies on it. And say, that's okay. And then have me dress up the nicest I could dress up, and then I'm there, and then it's just like, oh, it's nice, and then it's like, what are we doing? Like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
man.
Men and women have
That's
to
a
have
little
standards.
Yeah, I think at least we icks. I think they've been invented now. Or they've obviously existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be seen as unnatural, right? And I think icks now are invented to make it seem like these are okay, right? These are okay to dump a man for a very, very weird reason, right? And I think it's kind of being pushed in that narrative sense. Right.
Yeah, I get that. I don't, but for me with my ex, I'm not gonna break up with my girlfriend because she's an ick I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, listen, I was like, listen, I like you. I like this dress. I don't like the Crocs. Maybe we should just switch it up a little bit because we're going to this nice restaurant. Hey, if we're going picnicking, I don't care. But if we're going out to a nice place and you're yelling at me to dress nice, I'll dress the nicest I can dress. I would hope the same regard would be back a little bit. It's that's just my opinion though. So
I have a thing.
Yeah.
So the icks that we're talking about, right? I've noticed lately that a lot of people, specifically my fellow ladies, I'm really disappointed in you guys, though, seriously, have been videoing and recording and publicizing their bad dates.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
like making it a standard
Jeez.
for like for men to not be able to take them certain places because that
these
one
videos.
woman thinks that it's like low class or like the Cheesecake Factory thing. That's ridiculous.
I've seen a few of that stuff.
That's crazy.
I don't know
You don't know about that?
No. What
Oh my
happened?
God!
What?
So,
You gotta educate me on this one.
I saw
it's,
this,
it's
yeah.
everywhere, and it's all over the place.
Everywhere?
And there's so many women now that are like feeding into that, and then there's women, of course, that are like me. They're like, oh, that's bull, men. So, a woman wanted her man to take her out on a really nice date, and I think it was a first date. And
A first date?
Yep, first date, guys. And this.
What happened
And,
to a cup of coffee?
and this guy takes her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she refused. She's recording herself refusing to get out of the car until he takes her somewhere nicer.
Yeah, I saw that.
And-
She had her phone out.
yeah.
Yeah, she was
and
recording it.
and
It's
posted
viral.
it.
It's
and posted it
viral.
on social media.
Yeah, it's viral.
Yeah.
Oh my
and then, so
gosh.
there's a lot of people saying, yeah, I ain't letting my man take me to Cheesecake Factory. A lot of women are clowning it now because this one woman is like, this is too, I got dressed up, I got this, I'm not going to this measly Cheesecake Factory and this, and she was clowning it and dogging it so bad. And the man was like, listen, like he was going to take her out, buy her whatever she wanted on the menu, like, open the door for her, like do all these nice things. But because of the choice of location. So that right there is an example. But in general, women are bashing dates that they're being taken on. Guys are bashing dates that they're taking women on. A woman ordered too much seafood for an appetizer, and he's recording. He's like, and he got up and left and didn't pay because she
Yeah.
ordered like
Yeah, I don't get it.
too many drinks and too much seafood. And he's like, and she's like, well, you offered to take me out. I should be
Yeah.
able to order whatever I want. And he's like, this is ridiculous. If she takes you out and she orders this and too much of this and so much this, fellas, that's a red flag. You better get out of there. And it's
Yeah,
just like, what are we doing
Yeah.
in society nowadays where we're like, and then so now it's setting up another man or a woman to not be able to do that when it's perfectly acceptable for other
Exactly.
people. But it's like, now it's got men second guessing. I don't even know if I can take this girl to the Cheesecake Factory.
So
Yeah.
much
because-
pressure.
because this
Yeah.
one video and there's other videos and surface. You know what I'm
good
saying?
point.
I don't
we're-
understand where that turn happened, where it's like personal relationships have become a public relationship or not like an interpersonal relationship
really
anymore.
good point.
It's like now all of a sudden, like, because trust me, I've taken people on a bad date. Like the one time I took a girl out to a Mexican restaurant and we were ordering food and she asked for tofu and they didn't have tofu and I didn't know she was a vegan and I was like, we should have gone somewhere else. And I felt so bad. I was
She
like,
didn't tell you she was vegan. I mean,
yeah,
come on, that's
and
kind
I
of
was,
responsibility
and I
as a
sat there
vegan.
and I was like, I was eating my food, and she got a rice bowl, and I was like, I'm sorry, like, and she never spoke to me again. I was like, I understand.
You're not a mind reader,
Yeah,
though. That's
I
not
know.
your fault.
No, but that was just those,
Yeah.
those are things like that where it's like, if she would have pulled out her phone and record that and be like,
Yeah.
how did he took me on this like this? In my perspective, it's like I didn't know. Like
yeah.
it's not my fault. You should have like said like, oh, I don't really eat these kind of places.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you should have like all that stuff. So then, yeah, I don't know.
But that's going on right
Yeah.
now, like everywhere. It's happening. There's so many videos online of people making fun of another person's efforts to do something nice for them.
Yeah.
And I just to go kind of hand in hand with what we were talking about a
Yeah.
little bit, just as far as people videotaping things and posting things and like setting standards for what's okay and what's not for everyone else. It's like, who are you to say that this is acceptable or not? You know,
Yeah.
for
Exactly. Because
8 billion people on this planet.
to that guy, it's probably like just to get to know you. Because I
Right.
wouldn't imagine taking my first date with a girl, taking her out to the nicest restaurant I know, because it's gonna be expensive. I'm gonna pay a lot of money,
Army.
and who
could
knows?
be just that first date.
And it could be just that first date. So like
Yeah.
the simple things of like not putting so much pressure on having the dress nice, having us to do all stuff, and meeting in a natural like kind of state of like just seeing you in your natural state
Right.
without having to like worry about
Right.
you being the perfect version of
Yeah.
yourself, because I like the imperfections of people
Yeah.
more than them basically saying, look at me at my best. I
Yeah.
like to know you at your worst.
Right.
Because at that point, then I can live with the worst.
And at least you're not like,
So.
yeah, you have surroundings you can talk and have a conversation. I don't like going to the movies on a first date because
Yeah.
you can't
you
really
can't talk.
Yeah,
You can't get
Yeah.
to know each other.
exactly.
My ideal
You can't be
first-
like, hey, do you want to sell feet pics online or don't you? I mean, let's get this out of the way now.
Yeah. my ideal
I
first
already
date
do.
would probably be like a walk.
That's what I was wondering.
The balls
It's
in,
yeah.
the ball's in your court.
My ideal first date would probably be like going on a walk with someone, maybe going out to eat, because I know some people are self-conscious about eating from other people
Yeah.
for the first time. So my first one would probably be going on a walk, or like doing like a hobby of ours we both like. So like I've like invited people over and I've done like art things with them before, like simple things, like we've
That's a good idea.
painted like these wood things or like pre-made stuff where you like just paint these wood things and you just have them, and it's not so much pressure like this is like a gift almost. It's kind of like, oh, this is kind of my thing where it's like I don't have to worry about impressing this person. I can just make something that I like instead of that. So that's things
The
Would-
conversation can come
yeah.
freely
That's really
too.
Yeah.
So you're not
Mhm.
sitting there staring at each other across the table trying to think of something to say. You're actually
Yeah.
doing something with your hands.
Yeah,
and-
because I'm better at multitasking than just sitting there like, what's going on with you? Like, so, what were you gonna say, Matt? Because I know you even want to say something.
You know, I think definitely more like personal activities are better in that sense to get to know somebody, right? Instead of it's just like an interview, right? You're just interviewing somebody to get to know. Yeah, you checked this off. You're good in this aspect. Instead, you're like, let's go for. Just take it.
He wants to know what you're writing down.
Have
You're-
you either of you had like a really bad date other than the Mexican food?
Yes, I have had a really bad date. Have you, Matt?
No.
Okay.
Oh, all maths.
I've never had
Oh,
that many. Or, like actually, probably, I probably wouldn't even consider them like dates. Like, you want to go out for a date? I never said that.
Yeah, so I went out on a date one time with one of my exes, and they took me out on my birthday when I said I would like to not go out on my birthday. I just want to stay at the place with you and just do things that are not like a spectacle. Because I knew as soon as we went out there, it was going to be a spectacle. So as soon as we went out to the restaurant, she decided to wear her Crocs and a dress. It was that date.
That was your birthday?
Yeah. So,
Damn, she didn't like you.
so that was already like majorly like, this isn't working out. Like, no, I'm joking. But we were together for like several months at that point. So I was like, but we went out and I told her I don't want anything on my birthday. I don't want people to know about my birthday. I just want to like relax and just it's not about me. Like, I don't want to have a day. I'm more about like us, not about like me. Like, I told her like, that's, if you want your birthday celebrated, 100%, I'll do that for you. But for me, it's a preference. I don't. And she, in the beginning of the relationship, she's like, got it, cool. Pulls up to the birthday now, and it's now at this point, it's like, your boundary is not respected now, Liam. So I'm gonna take you out to dinner on your birthday. Basically, make you have to go out to dinner because she like got into, she started arguing with me, and so then I basically felt bad. So I had to go out to dinner. So I went out to dinner, and then we were at the restaurant. And I'm like my father. I'm really bad at getting gifts. It's just when me and my dad get gifts, we're like, thanks. Like, we do the whole like, we're just uncomfortable with gifts. So we're like, thank you. So we're at the restaurant. She pulls out this bag and it has a bunch of gifts in it. And I'm sitting there like, now I'm with all these people around me at this restaurant, and
You're just uncomfortable.
I'm so uncomfortable because now I have to open up these gifts in front of all these people almost and pretend to like be like super like excited, 'cause I just don't know how to act when I get gifts. So I pull out my keychain, ring, like I'm like, dang, like I'm like, thank you. And I feel so uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know, like, because it's not my thing. Like, I don't like getting gifts that much. And when I get a gift, it makes me feel very like I have to like and she saw right through that so quick. Like she's like, "Do you not like it?" You know, it's like, "No, I do like it. It's just I don't know how to act when it's not a thing." Like,
You're very humble,
Yeah.
probably. That's, humble people have a hard time receiving, whether it's compliments or gifts
Yeah.
and things like that. You don't know.
yeah, because I'll give anyone what they want. I'll give them gifts. I'll give them all this stuff. It's no sweat off my back. Like when Matt needs help with something, right away I'm like, doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm right away there to help you, kind of thing like that. I never ask for that in return. I never. That's not something I like to do.
But I do it anyway.
You try. I mean,
I try to.
I mean,
Yeah.
the other night I mean, you were on me about some stuff and we talked, and that was helpful. But I really try not to.
It was nice of you to acknowledge that.
No, I did.
It's very nice.
Matt does a lot of things. No,
Some better than others.
some things,
worse.
some worse, but overall he's a good guy now. Matt's a good friend of mine. I think Matt and me are definitely very close, which makes it different for certain people. So, but
Can I say something?
sure,
So I think this is kind of jumping a little bit.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But this might be the difference of more like of an introvert versus an extrovert.
yeah,
Where an extrovert really likes
mm-hmm.
like energy and gets more energy from
Mhm.
being around other people, and
Mm-hmm.
an extrovert gets more energy from other energy
Mhm.
and stuff and a lot
Yeah.
going on.
yeah,
And then an introvert that just drains an introvert.
mm-hmm.
So an introvert doesn't, like to have extra
Yeah.
and extra and more and more and more.
yeah,
And it doesn't like the attention. And not to say an extrovert that has all this attention is, just like an attention getter. It's just that's how they thrive.
yeah, yeah.
And an introvert feels very uncomfortable with that kind of attention.
Yeah, I was very much an introvert for my entire life as a kid. So being at college and having to have that extrovert thing, especially doing this podcast, I gotta be very extroverted and very that. So when I'm after these podcasts, I'm really very drained, and I'm like very much like I need to be alone. Like as soon as we end the podcast, you guys try to invite me over, I'm like, I'm going to bed. And sometimes I'm not going to bed, but I just need to
Yeah.
very much
Decompress.
Your own
decompress and
time.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that is definitely a big factor, especially with all that stuff. But yeah, so that the date, going back, the date,
Sorry about that.
no, it's all good. But so it ended. The date ended with her basically arguing me at the restaurant in front of all these people, and I was like, "Can we not do this right now? Like, can we if you're gonna be mad at me about this?" And then later that night, it was a whole thing of like, "I don't want to see you tonight." I was like, "That's fine. I'll go back to my room." And that was going to the end of my night. And I find people that get upset about people's preferences about birthdays, I find them selfish, because I don't think you have a right to be upset about my preference about how I want to celebrate things.
Yeah.
And I think that she was very selfish, and I think it's all about, I don't like celebrating birthdays. I feel like the people that put together your birthday and all that stuff is kind of like, look what I did for this person. Like I'm so kind, I'm so this and that. It's like, it's not about you. It's about it's about that person and respecting that person's needs.
I have actually said those words,
Yeah.
that I think that gift giving is about the giver.
Yeah.
And the way that I found, because I'm very like you in that way, I'm very uncomfortable with gifts.
Yeah.
And the way that I've come to peace, or I've been better about that, is that if gift giving is about the giver, that giver just wants so badly to show you how they feel that they, this tradition of gifts, tries to allow, they're allowed to kind of, it's a way that they can show you how they feel about you.
Yeah.
So instead of focusing on that gift, I just say oh, thank you so much. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, this person really cared enough about me, or went out of their way, or spent money, or spent time,
Yeah.
or made it look real nice.
Yeah.
And that they really care for me.
Yeah.
That's
For sure.
that's definitely a gesture. Gift giving is a gesture to show someone that you care.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, just to touch on the gift giving real quick, I think it's more personal when you actually take your time and pick out a gift that you think the recipient of that gift would like, rather than just giving a card with money or a gift card or things like that. When you take the time, to find a gift. But also, I wanted to say too before about the like selfishness of a person that gets that gets angry with
Yeah.
you for not feeling the same way that they feel. So some people are definitely just selfish.
Yeah.
Like just jerks
Yeah.
and just don't care about other people's perspective.
Yeah.
But there are some people, a lot of people out there that don't understand how to look at any other perspectives. They don't understand how a person couldn't be happy and go lucky and love this gift and like the attention. And, you know, they don't understand. And to them, there's something wrong with you
Yeah.
because they weren't taught that, you know, not everybody is like you. Not everybody is the same.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a matter of having a conversation. Obviously, sometimes you can beat that conversation into someone's skull a million times and they still won't get it.
Yeah.
Then that person might be selfish.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it is, you know, a matter of just teaching people how to deal with you and how to understand how you feel and the fact that there are different types of personalities out there.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure. Yeah. Anything you want to add, Professor Booker?
You're pretty quiet over there,
Yeah.
Booker.
Well, I'm taking it all in.
Yeah.
that's what
It's
she
just,
said.
it's
Matt,
just,
he's writing notes too.
I know, right?
Matt, he's coming after you.
Please stop. There can only be one.
No, because you were just talking about like your birthday and you know how that's like a special day.
Yeah.
And I would say until like 5 years ago, you know, I used to love getting presents.
Yeah.
And then I saw this episode by this actress named Kerry Washington. And Kerry Washington said she never accepts presents on her birthday, you know. And she said what she does is she acknowledges her parents on her birthday, and she give her parents presents.
Yeah.
You know, and I started thinking about that because, you know, like your family and whoever gave you life, you know, that's who you should be thankful for.
100%.
Right. So it's like
Yeah.
it's taking that appreciation and showing them that gratitude for the life they have given you.
Yeah.
You know, but I think we live in such a society where, you know, it's egocentric. So it's like my, I. And I think as we have to reflect on the things that we already have a lot
Yeah.
many times, you know, but it's just we have to take the time and appreciate the people who have given us the opportunity and the people who have sacrificed their life for us on a daily basis for us to be in the situation where we are today.
Yeah.
You know, so even like when you're in college, right? So it's like you're not doing this all by yourself.
Yeah.
You have a team of people behind you who people may not see, but they're there supporting you even when you are at your lowest.
Yeah.
And you're putting on that mask, going to class, going to residence hall, and when you enter your room and you know you're having a rough day and you feel like crying, you feel like giving up, you're like, why am I in this college? Why am I even like taking this time, going to school? Why do I have to study, take all this time? But who's supporting you? Who's encouraging you?
Yeah.
Your family members, your brother, your siblings, your mom, your dad, your uncles, your cousin, your grandmother. And those are the people I think sometimes we have to take the time out and show them that appreciation. Make sure, even on our special day, thank them, give them a call,
100%.
and then let them know that I love you, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Just those 3 words alone, I love you, and really mean it. And I think in today's society now, people just toss that word around. Like, I love you.
I don't say it. I don't say
Right.
that word unless I like really mean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, and nothing against my parents. I don't say even my parents sometimes, but when I do say it, it means a lot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I don't just say it like as a form of just like throwing out there. Like when they do something for me that like really, I really do appreciate. I say it and I feel like to them, I think they recognize that a lot, and then they like really appreciate the times I do say it instead of me just saying it constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I don't know, maybe I gotta call my mom and dad and see what they think, but I think what I think they think is that.
Yeah, we're in
knows?
we're in a big culture
Yeah.
of like, okay, love you, bye.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you too, love you, bye, more,
Right.
more, more, love you, and it's never like a sincere like stop, like you said, you might not say it every time to your parents, like as a form of greeting or goodbye, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, okay, love you, I'll see you later. But when you say it, it has depth and meaning to it. So I can respect that.
Yeah.
I'm a big like person who says I love you to people who are in my life that I care about, not just my family,
Right.
my
Of
course.
friends. You know, I say it to my children every chance I get, a million times a day. Every time we pass each other in the hallway, you know, getting up in the morning, going to bed at night, it's going to school, coming home from school, going to your friends, you know, any time. But it's just for me, you know, when I say it, it's almost like I've had so many deaths, you know, in my life, like close people that you just never know when the last time you're going to see someone.
Yeah.
So I always say I love you when I leave someone, when I care about them, because you just never know when the last time you're going to see that person. So, you know, I do say it more often, probably than, you know, I need to. And then even like, you know, with touching back on like birthdays and things like that, celebrations, I feel like it's a big form of a celebration of your life. So yes, thank your creators, the people that brought you into this life, but never sell yourself short either.
Yeah.
That's your day. That's the day that the stars aligned and the planets aligned, and you were brought into this world, and you were brought here for a purpose.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm a very big believer in celebrating your own birthday as well as other people's special days. I'm a very big. I'm so festive. I'm like, you know, I'm festive. I'm big in holidays and expressing joy all the time, as much as you possibly can, because you just never know. I pass by people on the sidewalk. If I make eye contact with you, you're gonna get a smile from me.
Yeah.
Man, woman, child, young, old, it doesn't matter. I just can't help it, and I've been stopped so many times. Or just, you know, in standstill, kind of next to a stranger or something. Like, hey, and they stopped me and said, you know, you asked me how my day was, and you don't even know me. I'm like, yeah, but you know, just want, like, do you know that's the first time someone's asked me that in weeks, or in what, you know, or stopped and said, you know, thank you, just for smiling at them, or holding the door, having a peaceful, loving gesture.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people show enough love.
Yeah, I definitely get clowned on, I feel like, by some friends of mine, because I do the elevator thing where I actually talk to the person, the stranger in the elevator.
Yeah, I do too.
And I just like, how are you doing? Like, how's classes? And they're just like, who is this guy? But I just like, it's like I think it's a nice thing. You know
never
what I mean?
know whose day you're gonna make.
Exactly.
So true.
And it was just even this girl actually in the elevator recently. Like last semester, I remember we talked one time in the elevator about how she was like stressed about classes and how she's excited about the semester ending. And then I saw her again this semester. I got in the elevator with her again. I was like, "Oh, how are you feeling after the classes?" She was like, "You remembered?" And like she was super, I think, grateful that I actually remembered the conversation. It's like it's important. It's important to them to validate their feeling that they felt in that moment, you know. And that's
Absolutely.
So true.
So you want to say something? Matt?
Yeah, I think like at least like nowadays, right? Like everyone's like really socially like awkward in that sense, where you know they think like, oh, like what if this person like thinks this, you know, when I say something, right? But you know, you have to realize that like that person probably thinks that exact same thing, right? They're in the same boat, right? They're not like some person that goes around and is like some social genius or you know,
has all the answers.
like even making just a small conversation with like people, you know, today, like this gas station employee, like I'm asking him if he ever took 5-Hour Energy. He's like,
what did he say?
He's like, yeah, I took it. It didn't feel good. And I was like, it probably only worked for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but you're really good with that stuff, especially with the people that work at Hurley. You're really good at talking to the people there and actually like validating like conversations you have with them too. So I think
like I have one of my favorite Hurley workers. I always go talk to him every time I see him, you know, and I just ask him either a random question or just see how he's doing, and it just, you know, and then over time it just you know, if you keep doing that to the same person,
Yeah.
you'll obviously make a friend, right?
It made his day every day because now he comes to us to like look for like that like spark during the day. So he's so happy when he sees us walk in. And he's like, where's the blonde guy? He's like, he's coming, he's coming.
Next time you should ask him how he feels about feet pics.
Well, we ask him a lot of
Oh my
questions.
God.
We ask
To circle back, I mean, come on.
we ask him a lot of questions. A lot of debates we have, we Matt tells him the question, and then we do like a 5-second debate with him, and then usually I win because I just spew like a bunch of statistics.
Usually he wins because I'm over putting my plate away, and then he's like, "This is the reasons I'm right. Don't listen to him." And then,
Don't listen to this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And, and he's like, okay. He's super agreeable.
Now, my question for you guys,
yeah.
going back to saying hello,
Yeah.
greeting people, acknowledging someone. We live in a culture and a society where people just don't do that,
Yep.
right, as often. Do you think that is taught, or do you think that is actually innate?
I think it's a lot innate with people. I
Yeah.
think that's like people like just have that in them to do that.
Right.
I think if we just taught, because I think you teach people all the time, be a good person, be this and that. I think it's something in you that like really feels wrong to not do it. Because there's one time there's this girl crying on my floor in the common room, doesn't know who I am.
Right.
I go in my dorm, I grab a water bottle. She's with her friends. I give her a water bottle. I say, I hope you feel better, whatever it is. And then she asked me to sit down. She just started spewing. And I was like, I get it. I mean, I feel bad for you and all this stuff. And I said, if you need me, I'm literally in this dorm right there, the room number and all this stuff. And I think people are going to be like, well, did you do that because she was pretty? Did you do that because she was a girl? It's like, no, I did it because if it was a guy, I would have still done the same thing.
Right.
100%. Because it doesn't matter to me.
That's so true.
I like that. It's true.
It doesn't matter to me because I just gave him a bottle of water and I literally was just going to leave him like with their friend because I felt like at that point they had that and they asked me to sit down because they thought they wanted to know who I was, I guess. And I was like, sure. And I did not stay as longer than I needed to. As soon as she finished saying what she needed to say, I said, I do feel sorry. And I said, like, I gave it a little bit of advice in my perspective of it. And I was like, I hope you feel better and hope you listen to what I say. But if you don't, that's up to you. It's your own person.
I think it's more taught to not say something when you have the urge to. I think it's more taught to keep your head down, mind your own business, stay in your own lane. That culture of just don't get involved. You don't have time to stop and get involved right now.
Don't draw attention to yourself.
Don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't, but I think that everyone who does that, everyone who doesn't stop and speak to that girl that was on the floor, I think they wanted to. I think their initial instinct was to do it, but something that was taught told them not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is probably more,
Yeah.
the,
Will you say something?
yeah,
Yeah, I was one of that.
I think it's probably a little bit of both, right? Innately, I think, probably genetically they're predisposed to being, one way more than the other. But for the majority of it, it's taught in schools, right? Like you could literally see, you see people like try to come out and talk to friends, and they get bullied some way. They get pushed to the side in some aspects, and then they're like, oh, this experience happened. Like, I don't want that to happen again. So I'm like, I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to this person, right? And
negative experience.
you see in like,
It is.
your college classes even, like, right?
Yeah.
Some professors would ask like a question, right? And then literally no students would raise their hand, nothing. There's no engagement there because, and then in their head, like, what if I'm wrong? Like, people are going to hate me for that. Like, like it's just a question, right? It's not like the end of the world, right?
You don't want to sound like an idiot.
And then the greetings thing, like you were talking about, Mr. Booker, is it can be so, like you were saying, some people would say, oh, well, did you only come up to her because she's a girl?
Exactly.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
I'm sure you, Lisa, have had this experience where I've dated several men that said that they, were very secure with themselves and all this stuff. But why, when, I walk by an older lady and I smile at her and I hold the door for her when we're walking to the gas station, you say nothing. Why, when I walk by this little boy jumping in puddles on the sidewalk and I give him a little smile and a pat on the shoulder and I keep walking, why you say nothing? But when an attractive man walks by my way and holds the door for me when I walk into a place and I say, thank you, he says, no problem, have a nice day.
Yeah.
And I walk in, you have a problem with that interaction? You know, it's like it has to do with the person and insecurities too, like how you perceive gestures and greetings and things like that, and the attention.
Yeah.
You know, women kind of get the short end of the stick sometimes when it comes to any attention coming to us. If we're with an insecure man, there's a lot more insecure men out there than I think women, in the sense of watching what we do, watching the interactions, what, you know, how we interact with people, and sexualizing that. And I refuse to even engage with that kind of behavior. You know, I'm a woman on a majority male pool league, billiards league. And we play in bars at night, and we play at different places, different halls and things like that. Mostly men play, but I'm a woman, and I play, and I'm good. And you know, I get upset sometimes, like, you know, people call timeout on me or say things that they would. I'm like, would you say that if a man was playing? Would you stop the game to say this? Would you be talking to me in my ear right now if a man was shooting? You know, no, like, you would give him his space, right?
Yeah.
You would, you know, but don't treat me any differently. I don't want to be treated differently because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, react differently to the attention I get just because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sexualized. You know, but a lot of today's culture, we sexualize all type of interaction between a male and a female.
For sure.
And we automatically assume that if there's a male and a female out in public together, they're dating, they're sleeping together.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have to be like that, but it's gotten to that point.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really.
For sure.
Why do you think it's like that?
I think it's like that because, I mean, there's so many reasons why it could be like that. And I think it's an eclectic you know, approach to that. But I think that a big reason is because people look within themselves and they think, you know, maybe I would only go out with a guy on a lunch date or a dinner date if I was sexually involved with them. So they maybe, you know, put that notion onto what they're seeing and think, you know, maybe that's something that they've been through. They familiarize it with a date that they've been on in the past. Or, you know, you could walk into a Panera Bread and see a man and a woman sitting there together, but because you've been on a date in Panera Bread before, you're like, oh, they must be on a date. Or maybe there's a lot of insecurities too, you know, that attractive man wouldn't be sitting there with that attractive woman if they weren't together. You know, there's no way that an attractive man and an attractive woman can be together and be friends and not be sleeping together. That's crazy, but it's like that.
And I think with your question, Professor Booker, with why it's like that, there's some aspects that are, you know, pushed by parents, right? You know, I have a son, right? And then he's like, oh, you know, can I bring over this girl? And then the parents like, oh, is that your girlfriend? You know, already sexualizing it without even realizing it.
That's a great point.
You know, oh, you're seeing a girl. You know, these kind of in these kind of like tones.
Great point.
It's gonna have like an unconscious effect on a
we
child's
do it.
mind.
We do it to our kids
a
before
really
they're
good
even
point.
born.
I know.
Sometimes you could be
Yeah.
pregnant, and your best friend could be pregnant, or your cousin could be pregnant at the same time, and you'd be like, oh, or not your. I guess
He's
your
gonna be
cousin,
a
but your
stud.
friend, like,
He's gonna be
our
stud when
kids
he's
are gonna,
older.
our kids are gonna be
Yep.
boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, they're gonna get married, and they're gonna make, they're
And he's gonna be a stud.
We're
He's
gonna
gonna
become
he's gonna get all the
family because our
girls.
kids
It's
are gonna
like-
get married one day. You know, the 2-year-old boy holds the 2-year-old girl's hand, and they walk down, and they're having fun playing, and they're like, oh, they like each other. They, it's like they're
You know.
human beings, and they enjoy each other's
You know,
company.
they said that
They
bit-
don't,
They said that me and Matt, we're gonna be studs. Look at us now. Yeah, look at that. They lied. It's terrible.
They were dead on. They were dead on.
Nah, but I definitely, because that's why I'm not so like super public about
Yeah.
people I talk to, and if I do talk to someone, I'm like, I'm talking to someone. Mm-hmm. I don't ever like give any inclination who they are, like anything like that, because I don't want people to like be like, ooh, who you hanging out with?
Yeah.
I never say who if I'm hanging out with them or not. I just kind of just do it.
I'm super opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I literally go out on lunches with my male friends. I go, out, hang out. A male friend of mine, on my birthday, I wasn't doing anything at all. I had a party the weekend before, but on my actual birthday, a male friend of mine called me and said, what are you doing? I said, oh, He said, you're not doing anything? It's your birthday. I said, no, I'm just, no, He said, well, let's go. He took me out to dinner, and we just hung out, had dinner. And 2 days ago was his birthday, and I called him. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to go out to dinner. I'm like, who are you going with? He's like, myself. I'm just going to go out of town and just go, treat me. I'm like, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And, and I've, I know that in the past that other people will look and be like, oh, I think they're together. But so I'm such a, rebel or stuff like that. Like I wish you think we're together. Like I hope you think we're together. I just like because I don't care.
Yeah.
There was a time where I cared. When I was younger,
For sure,
I did. I cared. I'm like, I don't know if we should go out together because I don't want anyone to think anything. I mean, oh God, I was so silly for that.
Yeah.
And I've gotten over that personally. A lot of people haven't gotten over that. No, we'll never get over that.
Yeah.
And we'll think it's inappropriate even for maybe you to do that. But no, I am like, so against it. I go out with, I have friends that are guys, and I'm like, who cares? Who cares? And I really, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because there are people that I've had people come up to me and say, I thought you were with that guy. I'm like, and I know exactly why they thought it, but I'm like, no, why would you think that? Because I want them to say it. I want them to uncomfortably tell me, oh, well, I assumed that because I saw you guys together having lunch. Oh, did you now? Well, putting food in our faces isn't a sexual act, so what would you think we were together?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so, I don't know. So, but there are people, that are very cautious to not be seen with people, and very cautious and very people that are just like me. They're like,
I just
them.
don't.
I don't care about what anyone's gonna think.
For me, it's like I get nervous about the inflation, like the basically inflating of the relationship with this person I have, and then them saying, "Oh, you seen her again?" Blah, 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 and they like name drop her and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out, and all those people in my life are like, "What happened to this person? Where'd it go wrong?" I'm gonna be
all
like,
up in your business.
then I'm kind of like, it's private. It ended. That's all I'll say about the subject, and then I don't know. And then people I think are so curious about other people's lives. I feel like it's. I like my privacy to myself, and once I'm ready to share it, I probably only share when I feel very secure in that kind of thing.
So,
Liam, I noticed you emphasize the fact that you love your privacy.
Yeah,
you said that probably like a few times already, so it's clear.
Yeah,
but what if, let's say, you meet this girl, right, and you guys are building this relationship.
Yeah.
And she's really, really happy, and you're happy.
Yeah.
So now she's on social media. She wants everyone to know that Liam is her man. So now it's on IG. She's tweeting. She's on Snapchat. She's on every platform. She's even on her LinkedIn account.
She's like, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Man.
He's only 21.
Did she do that before his permission,
No.
or just on her own?
So this is on
She
her
did it
own.
on her own.
Okay.
Yeah. So
how would you
she's
feel
like, look at
about
this guy.
that?
He's 21. He looks like he's 40 with a beard.
Right,
And
right.
trust me, guys, he's only 21.
That's right.
God.
Because it could happen.
So yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, I'm very private in my personal life and all that stuff. I don't expect that on my end of my partner, to be honest. Like, if they want to be like open about like being seen with me in public and knowing that I'm like their partner, I don't care. But like the only parts I do care is when they start like spewing like private conversations and private like things out in interactions out in public. so that you could talk to during.
Yeah, like you know, there's obviously things that have to be said behind closed doors, and when you like, I don't know, when you know, going back to the girl with like the, you know, in the car, right? You
Yeah.
pull out your phone in these private situations, it kind of defeats the entire purpose. Like if you do that, like I'm like ending the interaction, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
But if they did that, like, I wouldn't expect them to do that after the first few dates.
Right.
That would just be weird. I would be like, okay, well, you're clearly like, this is a spectacle, not a relationship. And
What about to your families?
well, I'll answer that. Let me finish what I was saying, but I'll answer that. God, my dad, they listen to this. They're gonna be like, "What's going on? Let's hear more about Liam's personal life." But to finish your question though, I wouldn't post about them.
Oh wow.
I wouldn't post because I just because on my end of my privacy, because I don't really care kind of on her end of how she wants to handle kind of like social media posting, stuff like that. There's an agreement, I feel like, in the relationship where it's like we don't talk about personal stuff to our friends and family, like personal conversations or issues we'll handle ourselves, but like being seen is a different thing. I get very worried about having my partner like on my social media, like a public thing. That's just my worry, but if that's not their worry, they could do that. I don't know. I don't care if they post me on their social media, but I won't post them. And it's not a thing of I don't care about them. I don't like love them in that moment. It's a thing of I just think like I the pictures I have of you are kind of like my pictures, not for other people. Like if without social media, like it would be completely fine. And I think social media has played an aspect in relationships I don't like. You know, I just think that I'm very like private. But family, like what was the question exactly about family?
So at what point, so like Mr. Booker was saying, you know, maybe however long it's been, but like you're really into this relationship, both you and, you know, your girl.
Yeah.
You're both really into it. You're really happy. Maybe you're in love or just like everything's like great. So at some point where you've been seeing each other casually or whatever, or you've been really private, at some point, you know, you gotta
tell my family,
or something.
Because I gotta bring her around the house at some point.
but how does that look? Especially, I mean, now that you're in college, it's different. But like, you know, when you're in high school or whatever, you're living at home and stuff. But
so I mean, like, kind of, I don't even know with the last few relationships I had in college, like dating and casual. My family was aware of some aspects of some of it. I mean, they didn't know the full picture of like if I was seeing someone, like actually dating them. I didn't tell them for like a month or two afterwards because I wanted to make sure it was good enough to bring to, especially like with my brother. He gets super attached to
who you're
people.
seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has autism and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So he likes consistency, I feel like, and like likes meeting new people and all that stuff. So, and I respect my brother too much to like bring this person to the house and then they'll be like, I don't really care, or like don't really want to meet your family or anything like that. And I don't really care if your brother like wants to see me again, because stuff like it's important because my brother's gonna be in my life for I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, until I pass or he passes, kind of thing like that. And so I don't really bring someone to the house unless, because it's the whole day when I go home is like, where's so and so, where's so and so, and I'm like, I don't know, Dan, it just didn't work out. and he's like, well, and I was like,
Yeah.
so.
But you want to be sure before you introduce them to family. But
for
she's
sure.
saying like if you're, you know, at what point.
For me, it'd be like a few months in the relationship. If I'm going on a date, I don't mention it at all to my family. Until like I start dating for a few months. Then I'm like, by the way, I've been dating this girl for a few months. I didn't want to tell you guys just in case it doesn't work out. I mean, you know what? Sometimes, and I regret it because some of the relationships I did bring home didn't work out. And it's kind of like I have to kind of like deal with that consequence afterwards almost. But I felt it was the right time. So I kind of did what I felt. And, you know, maybe next time I'd be a little bit more cautious, but who knows? But yeah.
I kind of feel sorry for my parents because they'll be like, Thanksgiving is coming up. Are you going to bring anybody special?
God,
I'll be like, nope.
I'm so. You know what I'm doing on Valentine's Day? I'm in here. I'm on here on Valentine's Day.
You are.
Yeah, and I'm doing one of those gal casts on Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Fun.
It will be great. We're going to talk about why no one's on Valentine's Day and why everyone's here.
That's awesome.
So, you would say something?
Yeah. I just want to say it's probably depends when you like tell people about something with, or like, you know, your girlfriend or boyfriend, depending on who you're like surrounded with, because, you know, some people will have this like expectation, right? You already like laid the seed in their mind, you know. They're like, you know, I'm seeing this girl. They're like, oh, you know, is it gonna work out? Like, and then they're like wishing the best for you, and you feel like you have to then like play into them, right? Mm-hmm. You have to like try like your absolute hardest. You have to do all these right things so that they aren't disappointed in what you were doing, right?
There could be so many divorces avoided if people weren't worried about, you know, what their families thought of them ending something that they thought was good for them.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
That's why, like, I when I'm married to someone, my goal is to stay married to that person for my whole life. You know, there might be things that happen in the relationship, and I will definitely try to smooth it out as much as I can. Like, the divorce would be like, for me, the last resort kind of thing like that. And I think that's, of course, my opinion on that stuff. And because I want to, if whoever I marry, I want that person to be like ride or die. Like, if I'm jumping off a cliff, you know, and they don't come, I understand, but it's the thought.
the best analogy, but
It's the thought that they would try, you know.
Oh my god.
I think I'd rather like a bungee harness.
bungee jumping.
Like,
we'll
I
say.
jump, they're in a harness, they're like, whoa, you don't have a harness.
They're like slowly going down the cliff, and you're going like going as fast as you can.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's like what I would love to have when I'm older, with someone like very committed, very happy with them, you know.
That's
And
awesome.
Are you
always,
looking forward to marriage too, Matt?
I don't think that there's very much incentive on the government's end to get married right now, so I don't think it's very worth it. Except if my girlfriend like really sought that, like I would obviously consider it. You know, for her, you know, if that's like a very big valuable thing, yeah, I'd consider it. I'll talk to her about it, but at this point, there's not really an incentive for that.
I love how opposite you guys' answers are for all of this. I really am enjoying that.
well, that's what the show's about, really.
Yeah.
We're very opposite people. We get along. I like this show a lot because it's so much of like just throwing all the opinions against the wall as much as we can, and letting whatever sticks with someone else sticks. And like, I'm gonna have my opinions, Matt's gonna have his opinions. It's not about convincing each other the opinions, it's about convincing the audience of like what they really believe, you know, and like having them be able to. They come on here for the jokes, awesome. We're delivering the jokes. You're coming on here for like sometimes a serious podcast. We got it going, you know what I mean? And
We're making them think.
We're making them think. We're making them think
I like
hard.
It. I like it.
You know, we're here to get the wheels running, man. The wheels running.
Ideas planted.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't talk to Matt outside this podcast. No.
Oh my god.
Liam texts me. He's like, "You want to hang out?" I'm like, "No, we're not doing a podcast."
Nah, but I hang out with Matt, I think, more than anyone else in my life. It's great. Some days I'm like, I need my space, but I hang out with you a lot. We go out to get food all the time.
It's kind of like a marriage.
Yeah, no, we are kind of married. You know,
I wonder if people ever think you guys are a couple when you guys are out eating.
Oh, they definitely do.
Because I definitely, there's been people
when
thought me and my girlfriend like we're a couple
Yeah.
when we're just sitting eating.
Well,
too.
it kind of it's hard for us too
They
because
do,
when,
right?
when he gets
Sometimes.
stuff on his face, I take my napkin and I rub it off.
Oh my god.
Do you lick it first?
I lick it first. I'm like, it's Matt, Maddie, what are you doing? Come on, Maddie.
I got my fork out, and I'm saying like, "Here comes the train." You know?
Yeah, no,
I love it.
no, but we're unofficially married couple.
Oh, you know, by 40. Remember?
Oh yeah,
The pact? You made a
no,
pact?
no, by I said 60. If I'm not
60.
Matt, no offense to you, I'm not into guys.
All right.
There's nothing against you. You're a swell guy.
Well,
You're
He said,
super.
but if he's 60 though.
But I'm 60, and for some ungodly reason, I've been just like God's giving me a bad hand in life. Listen, man, Sure.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Because by then I'd probably be gone by then. So
Maybe the government will have something to offer by then.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
imagine it's the same system. I'm 60. I propose him. He's like, I can't. It's like, dude,
God.
government says no. Like, I'm like,
But what about our pact? We made it on the podcast
He's
that
like,
day.
but the government's position does not make me feel good about it.
Yeah, I pull out my notebook. Like
You're like,
one
well,
January
50 years
1st.
ago you said this, and I'm like, God. So, but yeah, this is why I love doing the show and do podcasts. I'm excited to do more podcasts in the future, definitely with more people.
Yeah.
This is definitely what I want to do. Definitely make it a business. It's a very hard business to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only at 104 subscribers on YouTube. I'm slowly gaining more subscribers. It's a very hard thing to do. It's really hard to make a break in this business, but I'm willing to try and not give up on it. Apparently I'm in the top 10% because most podcasts would give up by then.
Yeah.
By where I'm at, but I'm still trucking along, and I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. So hopefully one day it works. But if it doesn't, at least I tried my hardest.
Gave it your all.
Yeah, and that's all I could say about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more than a lot of people can say, because there's so many people out there that have never once, worked a day in their lives toward doing something they're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
So you've already taken one step in the right direction, and even gotten closer to doing something that you love than so many other people.
Yeah, and especially 104 subscribers. We're shooting for 7 billion.
8 billion soon.
8 billion soon when the world population goes up. We're hoping for it. But yeah, but I think we're gonna end it now. It's been late. I feel bad because we kind of gone over time.
Right about now.
So I'm sorry, Professor Booker.
I know.
We get so in depth in these conversations. I'm sorry.
Caught up. We went from one thing to another
Yeah.
to another.
So sorry if we did go over time at all, like your guys'
Yeah.
time. But this
I
is
understand. That was great.
awesome. This has been the Lounge Around Podcast with your host Liam Saranich and my co-host Matt.
Good night.
Our special guest is tonight Jackie, Lisa, and Professor Booker.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
We
Awesome.
really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming on.
It was a great show.
Awesome.
It was
Thank
a lot of
you.
fun.
Yeah.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you, and good night.
Yeah.
Right there, mate. You're listening to the Lounge Around podcast. Stick around for more.